Hello, this is Indigo Ocean with the spotlight on the best new scoper for the week. Welcome. Again, this is Indigo Ocean with Awaken Business Consulting, and I am bringing you the spotlighted best new scoper for the week, which I hope is someone you're going to really enjoy. Hi, Richard. Hi, Nakanda, I think is your name. Welcome. Hopefully, the person I'm spotlighting will be here today. You guys voted last week. I'm going to just flip this. So, those of you who are not on Catch, you may wonder why so many people are leaving their screens. Hi, Richard. Actually, your namaste. Forgot you guys share the account. You tricked me. You may wonder why some of us will leave it facing away from ourselves for so long. And it's because those of us who use Catch takes a snapshot and they wait like 30 freaking seconds to a minute before they take their snapshot. So if you flip the camera around just as it's taking the shot, you get a black screen. And if you flip it around too late, you get like, yourself with your eyes closed or half closed, which is even worse, or some like weird expression. So that's why you'll see so many people like for a minute when they first start their scope with the thing facing away from them, and even though they're just talking to the camera. That's why. And unfortunately, it is kind of a good tip. That's one of the other things that we do today, as well as spotlighting a great new scoper, is that I give you all tips that you can keep improving your scopes. And we all like learn from each other. Like I'm going to do something tonight for the first time that I learned while reviewing the scopes of other people. Looking for the best new scoper. I wind up watching a lot of scopes, you can imagine, right? And so I learned something. I was like, well, for various reasons, this person actually I wouldn't pick right now as being the best new scoper. But this particular thing that she's doing here, I'm going to definitely start doing. So from Shonda, who was actually my first best new scoper, that's where I started, around again, starting with that image. I'd seen that before and heard about it before. I just wasn't routinely doing it. Then after I saw how she was doing it and the contrast between her catches where she did or didn't do it, I was like, maybe on just like off the cuff, it's not such a big deal. But if there's like a regular show that you're doing, then you should make a graphic for it, which is why I have one for Best New Scoper. And I would recommend to all of you that you have at least one show each week here on Periscope, at least one scope that you do every single week. And that people know that this is the day that they show up for it and this is the time that they show up for it. Those of you who've been following me for a while probably know that, I've gone through quite a few different people doing that, different shows doing that. Like I've done Success Strategies on Saturday and I did Productive Playdate on Thursdays. Those two have wrapped up, but I still do this Spotlight every Tuesday, and then I do the Spirit-Led Stories every Sunday. And so from my doing that, people will know, okay, we don't know when we're going to catch her, but we know that we'll catch her then. So, I do suggest that. Let's see. What else? Okay, so yeah, the graphic and that. Oh, hey, welcome, Linda. Nice to see you. The other thing that I would suggest is that you kind of plan as you're going into the scope what your objective is for that particular scope. It helps to have an overall strategy for how you're using Periscope, but it still needs to be said that every single time you scope, there needs to be an objective for that one scope. What is it leading up to? And it's good to therefore then have some kind of a call to action in that scope that relates to it. And the other thing I will say is it's really good to introduce yourself in a way that relates to that objective so that all of those things kind of flow together. The title of the scope, how you introduce yourself and establish your expertise for why you're the one someone wants to listen to on the topic, the content itself, obviously, and some kind of a call to action. And all of those things relate to each other. And so people come away saying, oh, I really learned something. I feel like I connect with that person as a person, and I can understand why I should take seriously what I just learned because this is their expertise. And this is what he or she has asked me to do. So I am going to do it. I'm going to follow through. these were just like basic things that if anyone does these things, it will make your scopes better. Okay. But today I'm going to flip over here. I want to show you someone who I think does most of these things. She doesn't 100% do these things. So obviously I gave it away. It's going to be a woman. She doesn't 100% do these things, but she does enough of them. And what she does really well. And I found myself when I was watching her scopes, like, you know, reviewing people for this show, that I just didn't want to stop watching. And like even after this, I'm going to seriously go back and spend a few hours just going through her scopes. Hey, Joy, welcome. You know, just going through her scopes because I just find it interesting. And it's not even in like the grooves, like, you know, again, I'm with Awaken Business Consulting. Normally the stuff that I'm interested in relates to business. I'm also have a background in psychology, and good to see you, and a very deep spiritual context. So I tend to follow scopers who are on one of those three things: business, spirituality, or psychology. And definitely if there's any two of them together, I'm all about that, right? And she is in a completely different lane. Thanks for sharing that, Joy. And thanks for reminding me, by the way, if you guys can share this. I see there are only about 7 people here right now. I always say the bigger the party, the bigger payoff for all of us. So if you guys can share this with your followers on here, that's really appreciated. You know, if you share it on Twitter also, that's really great. I can actually see it because I have my tag in there, which is another little tip I'll give you. It's good to have your own hashtag. And I'm seeing some people, the same people coming in and out. So I'm hoping Periscope has stopped acting up. The last time I did a scope, like the connection was so bad, and not from my end, but from Periscope's end, and it didn't even save properly to catch. That's how glitchy it was. So hopefully, if I keep seeing the same names coming in and out, I'll start wondering. But you do keep getting booted. I thought so. Put your name and put your first name in 1975. I thought so because I thought I saw your name before. Hey Sharita, good to see you. Good to see you. By the way, so put a comment in, Sharita. Odette, thank you, Odette. Okay, so that's Sharita. Sharita, you should also put your name in because even though I know it, other people do not. And I do want you guys to get to know each other. So I'm going to show you guys the best new scoper for today. She's in a completely different lane than what I normally do. That's Sharita. So I want you guys to give a look at Sharita. Now, I did not select Sharita as the best new scoper this week, but she's someone who's on my radar. And Joy, you're also on my radar. I've been watching your scopes on Catch. There are a few elements that I'm still looking for from you guys. Like Sharita, I'll tell you right now, like you need to get something that holds your phone, like where it's in a holder and when you flip it, you just touch it and then you touch it again. Like that, you got to get to that point because you're using it in a professional capacity. And while there's that line between professionalism, there's that line between professionalism and this is live streaming, right? This is relaxed. This is personal. So there's that line, but when you have to engage around the topic that you don't have a holder, it really undermines your professional authority. So you want to at least just get to that level where the seams don't show quite so much. As if, you get a phone call, someone makes a delivery, things like that happen that are unexpected and uncontrollable. And, that is a part of live streaming, and people actually, that makes it more real and it makes you more accessible, right? Because it's a day in your life kind of a thing. But stuff that you can plan ahead around, it makes you seem unprepared, and then people don't have as much confidence. So I'm working on the placement of the holder now, but you did get one. Oh, excellent. And then I think you might have missed this. And I just closed your Catch page too. And I can't remember now if you're doing the, let me just flip this around to show you what I'm talking about. I think you're doing I don't know that you're doing graphics like this, but I think you're showing your website, which by the way, nice site. I really like how you updated that. That's very nice. So I don't know if I forgot, but that would also be something useful if you do any regular show. And I think also for you to add in some regular show would be really helpful for you. So that's just a little mini pre-best new scoper advice there. You're right at the edge. Enjoy some similar things, like you're just working on just kind of tightening up the presentation. But I think you're both really good scopers. You've got content, you've got a message, and, you know, I'd like you to work on your titles a little bit more, but you're definitely heading down a good lane. And you can definitely count on the fact that at some point I will be featuring both of you guys, and I would love to do that. And I just want you, when that happens, that you're like rocking. Okay, so who I want to show you guys today, and I haven't seen her name yet. So I don't know about this thing of like not notifying the person. I'm thinking better of it now. I'm thinking that despite the fun factor of it being a surprise, the reality is it's so much better if whoever is the best new scoper is able to actually be here, because then they can give comments and they can reply to my feedback, and you guys can more easily find them to follow them, right? Because I know Stephanie wants my feedback, and the best new scoper of this week is Stephanie. Stephanie, I think it's Dodier. But I haven't seen her name yet, and that's because we did this thing where we're not notifying. But I think I'm gonna let go of the surprise factor and go back to when I used to like notify people in advance, even if, you know, they don't necessarily need to invite their followers, but just having them know that they should definitely make the time to be present that Tuesday night. I think it will make it a little even more valuable, because I'll be able to go back and forth with the person that I'm showing you. Yeah. So I'm going to do that after, but I haven't seen Stephanie yet. Stephanie, you're probably watching on the replay, so much love, and I hope you find really valuable information, even though you won't be able to go back and forth with me. But Stephanie had only asked for me to give her feedback, but once I got there, I was like, I want to watch every scope on this catch page, so I clearly have to pick her as best new scoper. Like, she's not even in my lane. She's a nutritionist. She's a clinical nutritionist. And she says, I help you understand your body messages. Let me actually turn it around. You won't be able to read it. It's too tiny. But what I'm reading is her description right here. Can you see where? I don't know if you can tell where I'm moving my mouse around, but that's where I'm reading it, right there. Clinical nutritionist, I help you understand your body messages and heal with food. Heal with food. Follow her, and then it gives like a link for health and wellness tips. And she's in Ontario. Oh, it's 3 hours later, so it's about a little after 9 o'clock for her right now. So you can see, so she's not using the images like I was talking about, but she is doing different things that make sense. Like here, she's talking about butter. 5 reasons why you should eat 5 reasons why you should eat butter every day. And I agree with her. Like, I am like slim, effortlessly slim, and butter, it's all about the butter. Stay away from that margarine crap. And then she has another here where she's talking about oatmeal. So she's showing you oatmeal. And so a lot of these cooking classes, like she's showing you the actual soup, you know, soup for a glowing skin. Aren't these like interesting topics? Are you lacking this hormone? Everything is better with butter. I agree. So I like it when she does that. Now, so here's one. Remember I was telling you, like, the catch does the weird thing. If you get your timing off, it gives you closed eyes face, right? Then we got closed eye face. We got here, you know, weird eye face. And this is what happens. So either you got to go one way or the other. Either you have, you know, again, like the graphics, like I was showing you how I do this graphic here, and I do different graphics for a regular show. Or if it's off the cuff, it's a one-time thing, you show a picture that's related to it, like she's talking about soup. There's an image of soup. Either you do that, or just know if it's like off the cuff and you're not going to think about what's on the opposite side of the camera, so you're going to try to just flip it around real quick, you just better keep your eyes open and a great big smile on your face for a minute. Don't blink. Don't shut your mouth. Don't swallow. Don't do anything. Just stare. Yeah, exactly. Stare with your eyes open with a great big smile until Catch takes that picture. Because here's what you don't want, especially if you're using this for your business. You don't want this fantastic scope that you want to like be your best player. You had to delete one. That's exactly what I'm talking about right now. You don't want to have to make it private, and it's just your great content that you want to be like your landmark scope, but you got crazy face. No, I still hear you. I do see people dropping, so I really hope that it's not messing up tonight. So anyway, so yeah, that would be my thing. So she has some really good ones here. So I'm going to go a little bit into this one here on low energy, because she said she surveyed a bunch of people and she asked them what was their biggest concern. And they said low energy. And so she decided, okay, let me scope on low energy.
If it's your first time on my scope, my name is Stephanie Dodier. I'm a clinical nutritionist, and I help people understand their body messages and heal with food. So I've healed myself from many conditions.
Okay, so she immediately starts by saying, this is who I am, this is what I do, and this is how this personally relates to me. I got into this because I have healed myself. What I'm teaching you, not only am I certified, not only am I, this officially registered kind of, person who has this professional training, but this has worked on me. So I am teaching you from both personal experience and expertise. People respond really well to that. And it's hard, like you can't do every single scope saying all of that, but whenever you can give people both your professional background and how it relates to your experiential expertise, that's really good what she's doing.
I have had serious panic attack, anxiety, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, skin condition. I was overweight, and I changed all of that. And the number one thing that I used was food. And that got me so inspired that I decided to go back to school, quit my job, and now I graduated with a degree in nutrition, and I help other people do the same. Today,
very strong.
I did a survey. So for those who follow me a lot, I was quiet over the weekend because I was working hard trying to find new topic and new things. Thank you, Karen, to talk about. And I did a survey. What is the things that affect you the most? Number one was weight. Number two was energy. Okay, so the number two complaint that people who in my community are looking at me is for gaining energy back.
So she's telling us, why are we talking about this right now?
Thank you very much for the comment. So one of the things that could be causing your low energy is actually a deficiency in one particular vitamin, okay? There's a study that was done by your university in the state. And
okay, what she's doing right now is called I forgot the word. Not premeditation. She's basically giving us a flavor of what's about to come. She says, there's this one reason that this big thing is happening. And I'm going to tell you that. So she's got your attention. Like you may be half listening, but when you hear that, it focuses you. And again, the name of this scope is low energy level may be linked to this one vitamin. And she has 3 pictures of pills. That's what these little things right here are. You can't see, but those are pills. So it's a good title and good emojis that go with it. And it gives you a sense of what she's going to talk about. And then she again, foreshadows. I forget the freaking English word. But those of you from your English classes, foreshadowing, pre-shadowing, whatever, she's giving you a hint of what's coming. But then she, instead of going straight there, she again gives you the background on the expertise behind what she's about to tell you so that you take it more seriously and you're really focused, that when she really gives you the goods, she's got your full attention.
Actually, 40% of the people in the study showed a deficiency in this one, not a deficiency, below standard level, which we know cause symptoms. And that one vitamin is this one, vitamin B12. And I know, Colleen, if you're on the scope, you asked me to talk about this.
And I know none of you are going to forget this.
Here you go.
Now.
That's your topic this morning.
Vitamin
B12.
B12.
What is the body messages? What is the messages our body gives us when we are low in B12? Number one, fatigue, exhaustion. Number two, weakness, can't perform regular tasks. Number three, memory loss. And I explained to you why memory loss and why energy. And condition with the brains, right? It can range from Alzheimer to MS, okay? So B12.
Okay, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit, but this is all really good. I really suggest you go to her channel. And again, her name is Stephanie Dodier. I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's her handle is exactly the same as her name, obviously just no spaces. So it's at Stephanie is StepHanie, and then Dodier is Dodier. I think she's a native French speaker. Stephanie, if you're watching this on the replay, let me just note to you that when you want to say air, you gotta get rid of that H at the beginning of it. So I caught that in another one of your scopes. I finally figured out that every time you were wanting to say air, you were saying hair. So every time I have to keep translating hair into air. So just take that H off at the beginning when you want to talk about air. But I really appreciate her accent. Apart from that, and how really clear her English is, because you can really understand her even though she has a bit of an accent. So I'm going to skip ahead a little bit here. But if this is the kind of content that interests you, just things about nutrition and supplements and foods to eat and why this is good for you and what symptoms might be leading to X, Y, or Z and what you can do about it, she just has so much good information. Like, I'm seriously gonna be coming back to her catch channel again and again because she is knowledgeable.
Help you with that. Why is it that
this
deficiency or low level of this cause that? Because B12 is used by our red blood cell to carry oxygen through the body. So for all of you who've been working out, you probably notice that the harder, if you do cardio, the harder you work and you're trying to sprint, you get out of breath because your body uses the oxygen that's being carried through your body to do the contraction of the muscle and to get you to move.
So this is the issue. Her content is so good that I don't want to skip ahead, but I cannot sit here and play this whole 25-minute scope for you, which is another thing she does really well. She keeps her scopes to about 20 minutes, which is really good. But I am going to jump ahead, and so I hope that you guys will take the time to just watch some of her stuff. So I'm going to jump to, let's see, where is it? Down here.
We're all going to switch over to her Periscope.
Okay, she's talking about something else. So the only corrective thing that I would say, by the way, Stephanie, apart from the pronunciation of air, would be you don't end your scopes when you end your scopes. I watched 3 of your scopes, and all 3, you act like you're going to end a good 6 to 7 minutes before you do. Now, I get the whole thing of it going on. Let me just turn. I get the whole thing of it going on for a little bit beyond when you were intending to end. That's just a normal Periscope kind of a thing. But 6 to 7 minutes out of a 22-minute scope, that's like a quarter to a third of the scope was unintended and is therefore a little kind of off topic. So, end when you end would be the only other thing that I would say to you is get yourself into that orientation of when you're closing, and that will firm up your call to action. I do see that you sometimes have calls to action, but they get lost because there's so much scope that comes after it that people forget by the time they're ready to take the action, or that they could even take the action, they've forgotten that there even was a call to action. Yeah? So and again, this is advice to her because she's specifically doing it, but this is something for you to all think about. Are you ending within like 30 seconds of giving your final call to action? Okay, so I'm going to just look around.
Energy. Sorry, 618 hustle drugs.
Oh, this is another thing. So I want you to notice, tell me when she looks at the camera.
So she will be here on Sunday night at 7:30.
Anybody, let me know when you see her look at you.
Set that up in your calendar. She's the owner of a yoga studio called Muskoka Yoga Studio as well. And she will talk to us about the soul flow process to help you integrate the mind into your physical healing.
So this is one other little issue we're having, that she's not looking at us. And actually, in the entire scope, she doesn't look at us. And pretty much in all of the scopes that I've seen, she doesn't look at us. Where is she looking instead? Can you guys tell what she's actually looking at right now? She's looking at the comments. And this is a really tricky thing, especially since she's using the landscape orientation. Yeah, she's looking at the comments. And when you're in landscape orientation, it's like you'll notice a lot of times when people are in portrait, you'll see people looking down. When they're in landscape, they look off to what to you looks like they're looking off to their right. They're actually looking off to their left. But that is like, you can't do that. Like, you have to look at the camera and then just look over there and back. Look over there, read what's there, look back to respond. So you're looking, you're speaking to the camera, then you look over to read or look down to read a comment, then you look back up to respond to that comment. So that would be a really important thing for her to do. Most of you I see are doing that.
You know, I'm a huge proponent of that. That's how I heal myself.
Ahead. So again, she's off topic. It's 15 minutes right now. We go to 21. So,
going to be with us.
You know, we got a way to go. I'm going to just jump ahead again.
Feedback on how I work with them and what has been the most successful for them. So I can help other people like you on the scope. And so they're coming in over tonight. So I may pop in during the session and give you a view on that, of what we're coming up with. So watch for maybe a notification tonight. Make sure you follow me with the little character at the bottom.
Good, she said follow me. I like that.
Follow, so you're going to get a notification when I come up live.
So what she was doing, so she was basically saying, my next scope, I'm going to back around. She was basically saying, my next scope is going to be on this topic at this time. That's her call to action. It does go on for a few minutes after that, but that was her call to action. It's kind of a little bit buried in there because before that she's talking about other shows. She's going to be interviewing other people, and she's already gotten off her original topic and then come back to her original topic. And, you know, so it's a little less obvious what's really quite going on when she gives the call to action. Therefore, it's not quite as strong, but it is there, right? So I would say if your call to action is follow me on Twitter, follow me on here on Periscope is not really a call to action. Like, you should always just say, look, if this is your first time in the scope, please make sure you're following me. You know, you do just want to kind of say that. Hey, William, but other calls to action, like connect with me somewhere beyond just Periscope, either just in general or with some specific action, is something you want to always ask for. Because we have to remember that we're on Periscope for a reason, and it's not just having fun. If we're using it for our businesses anyway, it's not just for having fun. So it has to always progress us. Every scope needs to progress us towards some objective. So in this case, she's just saying, well, I just want you to come to my next show. That, okay, it tells me that she's using this more for PR. This may change. I might see another scope of hers where she says, you know, please join my mailing list here, and I'm going to give you a list of the 10 best supplements you should be taking, or a supplement to take for each condition, or something that's a little out of the usual, because she does have information that's kind of unique. So I would play off of that in her free gift, but something that she can say on her scopes and with a URL that she can speak. That's or she could say, you know, follow me on Twitter, and I'll send you a direct message that will include a link where you can get this sheet of this information. And it's like just a one-page thing that delivers her expertise, but it relates to the kinds of things she talks about. So the kind of people who like her scopes would be likely to also like that handout, and they'd be willing to give her their email address to get it, because they probably also like to get her emails, quite frankly, even after that. That would be a great call to action for her to use if she wants to move out of PR, which is what she's pretty much doing right now, whether she realizes it or not, and into marketing. Do you guys see the distinction there between the PR and the marketing? But even in either one, you still have a call to action. In PR, it might be more like, catch my next show, or this is this other thing that I'm going to be doing. Follow me. You get it. Okay, excellent. And then, of course, you know, that there's also sales that you can do on here. So far, I haven't featured anyone who really uses Periscope for sales. You know, you guys know that I've done sales here with Productive Playdate. But I always am on the lookout. I don't choose people by whether they're using it PR marketing or sales or whatever, as long as they're doing whatever they're doing effectively. And I can tell what they're doing. I can tell what they're using it for because I see that it's going somewhere. Okie doke. So that's it. We're right at the half hour right now. So I am going to peace out. And so since I am, in fact, using Periscope purely for PR, I'll let you know. I hope you catch me tomorrow on Blab. It's going to be 11 o'clock, not noon this time, because there was my guest had a conflict with a client. Very busy people. Sometimes you got to be flexible. Good. I'm glad you can make it. Yeah, please come at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, I think 7 p.m. UK. Normally it's at noon, and so ongoingly it will be at noon, but this one time it'll be an hour earlier. And oh, I'm not able to make it at 11. Oh, that's too bad. I'm sorry to hear that. But if you're subscribed, you'll at least get the replay. It's too bad you won't be able to join us in the room, though. He's a really fun guy. He's one of the co-founders of Wisdompreneurs. Hey, Sam. He's one of the co-founders of Wisdompreneurs, and he's just this wild guy who just like says whatever he means. Like, no filter. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no filter. Really into inclusiveness. Like, he has this whole thing about there's just not enough ethnic diversity in the spiritual movement. And so with Wisdompreneurs, actually his co-founder is Martin Luther King Jr.'s, is the daughter of Martin Luther King Jr.'s closest advisor. Like, you'll see pictures of them all sitting together with like Jesse Jackson. Hey, Sam, good to see you. I'm just piecing out. I'm actually just doing my call to action on my Blab show tomorrow. So I'm going to be interviewing Paul Zelzer, co-founder of Wisdompreneurs. So again, his co-founder is from the Martin Luther King legacy. And so inclusiveness for them, it's about inclusiveness of bringing spirituality into the business context, into the way we work. And it's also about bringing diverse voices and histories and ethnicities also in as an integral part of that. And so I'm really, really looking forward to dig into the hush world, the hush aspect of this world of consciousness. So those of you who can join live, I welcome you putting in your personal voice on the issue. And those of you who can't come live, then just please subscribe so that you can at least get the replay. And again, I'm on there as Conscious Biz, B-I-Z _TV, Conscious Biz TV on Blab at blab.im. So I hope I'll see you guys then. Thanks so much for your presence and participation. I don't know, we seem to have network problems tonight. I'm not accustomed to there being so few people, but I hope that a lot of people will find it on the replay, because Stephanie is definitely someone that you want to be following. Again, I'm just going to flip this around one last time. Anyway, so you guys can see her. So again, that's Stephanie Dodier. Yes, it keeps cutting out. Yeah, that's too bad. I hope that Periscope will soon get their act together and we won't have these technical difficulties. But for the time being, we're just grateful that it's free. Okay, you guys have a great evening, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.